Welcome to Wonder Tales, where magical stories come to life for curious young minds. Here, we share enchanting adventures that spark creativity, teach kindness, and encourage discovery through engaging storytelling. Each tale is carefully crafted to inspire children to explore, learn, and grow. If you love our stories, please like this video and subscribe to join our community of wonder seekers. Today's adventure follows three brave bear cubs, Bella, Bruno, and Bailey, as they discover a mysterious pathway in Algorithm Forest. Together, they'll learn about patterns, sequences, and problem solving while helping forest friends in need. This magical tale introduces coding concepts through fun, visual adventures that make learning feel like play. So settle in for an exciting journey. On a bright, sunny morning, three fluffy bear cubs tumbled out of their cozy den, ready for adventure. Bella led the way with her bouncing steps, while Bruno followed close behind, and little Bailey tried to keep up. The warm sunshine filtered through the trees as they played tag, their happy growls echoing through the peaceful woods around them. The hidden path wound deeper into the woods, and suddenly, everything changed. Bella gasped as towering trees spiraled upward in perfect circles, their branches growing in repeating patterns. Bruno pointed excitedly at a stream that flowed in endless figure eights, never breaking its graceful loops. Bailey watched in wonder as a family of rabbits hopped by, each taking exactly 3 hops, then pausing, then 3 more hops, over and over again. This wasn't like their familiar forest at all. Here, everything seemed to follow special rules. Leaves fell from trees in synchronized waves, birds chirped in rhythmic sequences, and even the wind whistled through the branches in repeating melodies. The 3 cubs looked at each other with wide eyes. They had discovered something extraordinary. Algorithm Forest, where nature danced to the beat of patterns and codes they had never seen before. As they ventured further, more wonders revealed themselves. Flowers bloomed in color sequences, red, blue, yellow, then red, blue, yellow again. Butterflies flew in zigzag patterns that repeated precisely. Even the shadows on the forest floor formed geometric shapes that shifted in predictable ways. Bella, Bruno, and Bailey felt like they had stepped into a magical puzzle, where every piece of nature was part of a grand, organized design. As Bella, Bruno, and Bailey wandered deeper into the mysterious forest, a cheerful chirp caught their attention. There, perched on a low branch covered in glowing symbols, sat a bright red robin with the friendliest eyes they'd ever seen. She tilted her head and smiled warmly at the 3 curious cubs below her. "Hello there, little adventurers. I'm Ruby," she sang out. "Welcome to Algorithm Forest. I see you've discovered our special home." The cubs gazed around in wonder as Ruby explained, "This whole forest runs on logic and instructions, just like a giant living computer. Every tree, every stream, every creature here follows special patterns and rules." Bruno's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Can you teach us how it all works?" he asked eagerly. Ruby fluttered her wings joyfully. "Of course. I'll show you the basics of programming so you can help our forest run smoothly." The 3 cubs bounced with anticipation, ready to begin their incredible learning adventure with their new feathered friend. Ruby fluttered ahead, leading Bella, Bruno, and Bailey through the winding forest path. Soon they reached a babbling stream that sparkled in the sunlight. But something was wrong. The bridge that should have spanned the water lay in pieces. Logs were scattered everywhere, some floating in the water, others piled on the banks. The cubs looked at each other with worried expressions. How would they cross now? Ruby landed on a nearby rock and chirped wisely. "Someone mixed up the sequence of these logs," she explained. "In Algorithm Forest, everything must be done in the right order, just like following a recipe. First this, then that." The cubs studied the scattered logs carefully. Bruno noticed they had different markings. Some had circles, others had squares, and a few had triangles carved into their bark. Working together, the cubs began experimenting. Bella suggested trying circle logs first, but the bridge pieces wouldn't connect. Bailey tried mixing different shapes randomly, still no luck. Then Bruno had an idea. What if we look for a pattern? They discovered the secret: circle, square, triangle, repeat. As they arranged the logs in this sequence, something magical happened. The bridge sparkled and reassembled itself perfectly. Being able to cross now and continuing on their path, deep in algorithm forest, Bella, Bruno and Bailey heard a frustrated chittering sound. There sat Samuel the squirrel, surrounded by mountains of acorns, walnuts and chestnuts all jumbled together. "Oh dear," he sighed, "I've been collecting nuts all autumn, but now I can't find anything. The big ones are mixed with tiny ones, and the round ones with the pointy ones, and the round ones with the pointy ones. It's all such a mess." Ruby the robin fluttered down with a knowing chirp. "This is a perfect time to learn about sorting," she exclaimed. "When we put things in order, finding what we need becomes so much easier. It's like creating a special pattern. First, we decide what rule to follow. Should we sort by size, by shape, or maybe by type?" The cubs' eyes sparkled with understanding. "Let's start with size," suggested Bailey. The cubs began making 3 piles, small hazelnuts here, medium acorns there, and big walnuts over here. Bruno noticed something magical happening. "Look! When we organize them this way, Samuel can grab exactly what he needs," Bella added excitedly. "It's like giving everything its own special place." Samuel's worried frown transformed into a grateful smile. As twilight painted algorithm forest in soft purple hues, Bella, Bruno and Bailey discovered a meadow filled with confused fireflies. The tiny creatures were trying so hard to create beautiful light patterns, but their glows flickered randomly, on, off, with no rhythm at all. Some fireflies bumped into each other, while others blinked alone in the darkness. The cubs watched, mesmerized but puzzled by the chaotic light show dancing before them. Ruby the robin fluttered down beside them, her eyes twinkling with understanding. She explained that the fireflies needed conditional statements, special rules that helped decide what should happen next. Like saying if it's dark, then glow bright, or if your neighbor glows, then wait your turn. The cubs' eyes widened with excitement. They could help the fireflies create something magical. Together, they started teaching the fireflies these simple rules, one glowing friend at a time. Soon, the meadow transformed into a breathtaking symphony of light. The fireflies now followed their new rules perfectly, glowing in waves, creating spirals, and forming twinkling constellations. The forest creatures gathered to watch the enchanting display, their faces glowing with wonder. Bella, Bruno and Bailey beamed with pride, knowing they had helped turn confusion into beauty. As the synchronized lights danced through the night, the cubs understood how simple rules could create extraordinary magic. As the sun climbed higher in algorithm forest, Bella, Bruno and Bailey heard worried voices coming from a crossroads ahead. A group of forest animals huddled together, looking confused and frightened. There were rabbits, hedgehogs, and even a family of deer, all staring at the many winding paths before them. They had wandered too far from home while gathering berries, and now couldn't remember which path led back to their cozy dens and burrows. Ruby the robin fluttered down to join them, her eyes sparkling with an idea. She explained that just like computers follow precise instructions called directional codes, the animals could use special markers to find their way. The cubs gathered sticks and stones, creating simple arrows pointing the right direction. They placed these markers at each turn, making sure every instruction was clear, left at the big oak tree, right at the bubbling stream, straight past the mossy rocks. One by one, the lost animals followed the path markers the cubs had created. The rabbits hopped happily toward their warren, the hedgehogs shuffled safely to their leaf pile, and the deer family trotted gracefully back to their meadow. Bella, Bruno and Bailey watched with pride as their clear guidance system worked perfectly. They realized that giving precise, step-by-step instructions, just like coding, could help solve real problems and bring friends safely home. At the forest edge, golden sunlight danced through the leaves as Bella, Bruno and Bailey gathered with Ruby the robin. The magical patterns they'd learned glowed softly in the trees around them. Ruby chirped happily. "You 3 have become true problem solvers. The bridge stands strong, the fireflies dance in perfect patterns, and every creature knows their way home thanks to your help." Algorithm. Forest sparkled with celebration as colourful sequences of light rippled through the branches. The cubs watched in wonder as loops of glowing butterflies circled overhead, each following the coding patterns they'd discovered together. Bruno smiled wide, remembering how confused he'd been about sequences just hours ago. Now everything made sense. Bailey bounced excitedly, already thinking about using loops to organize their toy collection back home. With warm hugs and promises to return, the cubs waved goodbye to Ruby and began their journey home. Bella carried their special forest map, now filled with all the coding symbols they'd learned. As they walked, they spotted patterns everywhere, in the way flowers grew, how streams flowed, even in their own paw prints. Their hearts felt full of new knowledge and friendship, ready for whatever adventures awaited.